Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary. We're making yet another game that revolves around the real world, so remember to leave a like if you enjoy the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Now a quick recap to get everyone caught up. A while back I made a game that would change based on when it was played in real life. So while the game seemed pretty normal during the day, it was a lot less friendly at night. Fun concept, definitely niche, but it really got me thinking about what else was possible. Well, today we're starting with this. There's a lot to explain here, but before we get to those bits, the gameplay this time around is much more involved. So first, we're working with a very basic top-down shooter. The player moves around as such and can fire their flamethrower with left click. The goal is to destroy a number of altars which are spawned in the world, each flanked by a small army of angry mutant chickens, who will try to eliminate the player with their radioactive eggs. When defeated, those chickens have the chance to drop some food, which can be collected to heal the player. Again, nothing out of the ordinary for us here. Now, one new feature of this system that feels like it deserved a showcase was what happens when an altar is destroyed. The altar sprite bursts into pixels and then floats away, kind of like that Thanos snap effect. And while this could have, and if we're being honest probably should have, been done with a shader, I opted for something a little less elegant. Using the same system designed to convert images into dungeons, the sprite for the altar is traced into usable data. Then when the altar is destroyed, particles are spawned to recreate the image pixel by pixel. GameMaker's particle system then does its thing, resulting in that dust-like effect. So that's about it for the new stuff as it pertains to the actual gameplay. So now let's talk about how all of this applies to the real world. First, you've probably noticed that today's game takes place in a square. Well, this is because the game isn't meant to be played in full screen. It's meant to be played in windowed mode, because the camera isn't meant to shift like it would in a Zelda game, for example. No, instead, it's meant to shift the entire game window. That's right, instead of moving the camera as the player walks around the world, the entire window moves, revealing parts of the map in chunks relative to the player's actual monitor display. And believe it or not, this is incredibly simple to pull off. The effect is done by using functions that are usually meant for things like options. You know, so a game can be played at say like a 720p or 1080p. However, we use these functions to update the window's position in real time in relation to where it would be in the world itself. And so tying it to the camera's X and Y positions is all we needed. This allows the game to function normally in full screen, but also give us that trippy windowed effect. Now I should note that it's not perfect. For some reason, when the player enters the topmost left corner of the world, the camera freaks out and the mouse lock code goes a little crazy, which is likely due to a number rounding issue somewhere. And yes, before you get up in arms, this is an extremely silly way to play a game. The window size is 320 by 320, and even on this monitor, which is set to 1080p for the sake of the recording, it's pretty hard to tell what's going on. It's why the gameplay is rather tame, and the graphics for everything are as obvious as possible. And while on the subject of cons, there's also the limitation of just how large the play area can be, because again, this is restricted to the player's monitor resolution. So sadly, the obvious cons to playing a game this way far outweigh the coolness or uniqueness factor that this idea might bring. But still, it was a fun experiment to conduct, and being able to also make the Thanos snap effect was a nice plus. And as always, you know, these are meant to just be silly ways to mess with GameMaker's engine in ways that it probably wasn't meant to be used. And so for that, I like the idea. But what about you? Is this something you would play? And I know this isn't a unique idea and has been done before, so if you've played any of those, what are they? And or which was your favorite? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy seeing weird stuff like this, supporting me on Patreon will literally help me keep doing it. And you also get access to exclusive content and game downloads, and even early access to the Dev Diary videos before they're released on YouTube. But with that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.